My name is Samantha. I'm a stylist and a loft owner. I've been in the industry for 13 years, and I have had major shifts in my business in the last few years. I'm actually a coach and consultant for stylists and salon owners looking to grow their business. And basically, just to put it shortly, like, I help people create their dream businesses and lives and attract their ideal clients and make more and work less and just create total freedom. And I am super passionate about stylists creating businesses that they love and only working with people who respect them, because so many of us settle for less, and it's just bullshit. We are worthy of so much more, and I wish that I had known way earlier in my career that it didn't have to be that way, and you don't have to settle for bullshit. And the sooner you stop settling for bullshit, the sooner you're going to create a life of abundance. And so I worked at a commission salon for 8 years, well, a few commission salons, and I never really had any interest in going out on my own, but I kind of got to a point where I just felt stagnant. Like, I kind of woke up one day and realized, okay, I've been doing this for 8 years. I'm the stylist in the salon that people go to when they need help. Like, I'm creating new techniques, like the whole 9 yards. I was an educator for several product companies. My books were completely full, and I still couldn't make ends meet. I was still choosing which bills to pay. And it was an aha moment that I had one day when I realized, wow, I thought that when I was this busy in my career at this point that I would be making money. And so it was a huge eye-opener that something had to change. And so I kind of just, before I really knew that I was putting out there to the universe, but I just kind of put out there, you know what, I'm open. I'm not looking, but if something falls in my lap, an opportunity falls in my lap, I'm going to take it. And within a few months, a stylist that I used to work with sent me a message, was like, hey, I'm looking to, I'm moving. Do you know anyone who would want to take over my lease and share this loft at Salon Lofts? And I was kind of like, oh crap, like, here it is. Here's my opportunity that I said I would take, and I was scared shitless. I almost didn't take it. I almost backed out 1,000 times. And at the end of the day, though, before I even knew that I was following my intuition, I was following my intuition. And I knew that it was something that I needed to do, even though I had no idea what the hell I was doing. Starting a business, which I think is a huge problem in our industry. There's not education on how to run a business. We're taught how to do hair, and that's it. We're not taught how to run a business at all. And so I started at my new place and just decided, you know what, come hell or high water, I'm doing this my way. Like, this is either gonna work, I'm gonna do it exactly how I want, and it's gonna work, or I'm gonna get a new career. But I'm done working all these hours. I'm done not getting paid. I'm just done with all the bullshit. So I completely switched my pricing structure and started including everything. My prices went up. My prices went up a lot. And I started just like posting on social media like it was my full-time job, not really sure what I was doing, but just figuring out as I go. And within 3 weeks, I had outgrown that space and I needed my own loft. And within a few weeks from that, I had outgrown my own loft and needed a double and an assistant. And at that time, I was working so much. I was making really good money, but I had no boundaries. I was working 12-hour days. I was taking every person that wanted to come in, and I was making more money than I ever thought I would make in my entire career. And it wasn't fucking worth it. I didn't have any time with my kids. I was exhausted. I was in tears every day because I was working so much. And so once again, I was like, fuck this. I'm changing things. And I completely revamped. I raised my prices even more. I set my hours. They are non-negotiable. I started running my business way more professionally. And I shifted the way I showed up. I shifted the way I interacted with my clients. And this beautiful thing happened. Everything started to fall in line with exactly what I want. So Now I'm at the point where I work 15 to 20 hours a week behind the chair. I bring in 6 figures. I see 2, maybe 3 people a day, and I coach stylists in salons and help them double, triple their income and bring balance into their life. And I'm a firm believer that it has not one fucking thing to do with your area. One of my small town stylist salon owners, she was charging $20 for a haircut when we met. She gave me literally the last money in her bank account to sign up for coaching. She didn't even have the money for the second month, and I was like, you know what, girl, don't worry about it, I know you will. And at this point now, she is, well, first of all, within the first month, like, she cut her hours by a third, she doubled her income, then she tripled her income. Now she is the most sought out salon owner, stylist in her town. People travel hours to see her. She was finding that it wasn't that people aren't willing to pay good money in small towns, it's that people in small towns that are willing to pay good money are traveling to bigger towns because they think that the stylists that are not charging enough are not experienced. There are people who want to pay good money for their hair, and they think that if you're not charging enough, that means you're not experienced. And I'm just gonna talk a little bit about more about her. So one of the things, side note, by the way, she charges like $600 for a color service now. A year and a half ago, she was charging $20 for a haircut. Now she's charging $600. So just to give you some perspective, and she's booked out for months. And when we first started working together, she was always overbooked. She was just cramming her books with everything that she could get in, and her clients were getting a shitty experience. They were being rushed. She was making sloppy mistakes. One person's sitting too long because the other person, she's got to get their color off, and then she rinses this person too early to get this person's color off. Now this person's orange, so now they got to come back for a redo. And it was just this constant cycle of, she was operating out of such scarcity and such, I have to take everything, that everyone was getting a shitty experience. And of course no one's going to pay good money for that. So the very first thing we did was, like, girl, you got to up-level your experience. You have to make that comes first. Creating an environment and an experience that your ideal people want is what will bring them, not the other way around. Not, oh, I'll start doing that once they start showing up. They're never going to show up. You have to create the space for them. And I don't mean the physical space, because I know you might have openings on your books. I mean the energetic space, because what you accept is what you're going to attract. So if you are down here just accepting anyone who will give you $1, no matter what that looks like, and you're just cramming all these people in your books just to get as much volume as possible, that's not what the person who's going to pay good money for their hair wants. And so the very first step is creating the experience that your high-end clients want. And so for her, that looked like slowing down, charging people appropriately, because then what do? You discount people. When you do a shitty job, when you do a sloppy job, when you know you didn't do your best, you discount them. So it's just this constant cycle. So she stopped overbooking herself. She started spending more time on less people, raised her prices. And like I said, within the first month, she doubled her income. Within a few months, she tripled her income. And now it's like she's about to have her first 6-figure year. When we first started working together, I don't even think she was bringing in $20,000. So it really does start with you and what you'll accept and your boundaries. And the one thing that proves to be true over and over and over again is that doing what you fucking want is always the right answer. Not doing what you think people will be okay with, forget all that bullshit. What do you want to do? Do what you want to do, and that is going to bring the things you want. And you have to start saying no to the bullshit. You have to start saying no to people who don't respect you. You have to start owning the fact that you are worth good money, period. Like, end of story. And when you decide that you are worth good money and you are not available for anything less, that's when those people who are wanting to pay good money will start showing up. Let me read a comment here really quick. And making that mindset shift, I don't know when I would have figured that out. Such a learning experience. Yeah, it's all your mindset, because you act totally differently when you have that mindset shift of, you know what, I'm not available for anything other than everything I want. And when you stop accepting less, you show up as a different person and you take different actions and you exude a different energy. So let's talk about all-inclusive pricing without further ado. So what is all-inclusive pricing? This is the model that I switched to, and I didn't really have any sort of guideline when I did it. I just decided, you know what? I'm done talking about toners. Everyone needs a toner. I'm done talking about bond builders. Everyone's getting it. Like, we're done having the discussion. If you want to come get a service with me, you get everything. And so for my appointments, when people come to me for everything just includes, like, if you get any sort of service, you get, let's say you're getting a color retouch, right? You get a color retouch, you get a glaze, you get a bond builder. All those things are non-negotiable. If you are getting a lightening service, obviously you get the balayage or highlight, you get the toner, sometimes 2 toners if we're doing a melt, you get the bond builder. If we need the under the dryer conditioning treatment, you get that. And if you need a haircut, you get that. It's very much like and when new people come to me, haircut is automatically included and deep conditioning treatment after the service is automatically included. There's just no option, because I believe in taking control of the appointment and giving the clients the best. And what I found is that people want the works. They want the whole thing. But when you give them the choice, when you give them the option to opt out, especially when we're dealing with women who we are completely conditioned to feel guilty about every little thing we do for ourselves, that we don't need it, especially if we have kids, like we feel guilty spending the money on ourselves, blah, 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 blah. So when given the choice, they're gonna say no, even though they really want it. And I cannot tell you how many times I've had clients say to me, oh, I just love that everything's included. They love the conditioning treatment. Who doesn't want that? They love the glaze. Who doesn't want a glaze? And so what I found is, by taking away that choice and just standing firm in, this is what it costs to get the service you're wanting, here's what it includes, people are all about that. So what that looks like is I did a serious evaluation of my prices, and I raised what needed to be raised and I combined what needed to be combined. And so everything, like I said, I believe that I use B3. You can obviously use whatever bond builder you want to use, but I believe that at this point in technology, what we have available, I just don't believe anyone should be getting a color service ever without some sort of bonding treatment in there, because we have it available to us and it's the best, and it's what's going to give our clients the best. Because when they bring you that Pinterest photo, right, or that Instagram photo, you know that they've done everything, right? They didn't not do a glaze. They didn't not do a root melt. They didn't not do a conditioning treatment to make it look so shiny like that. So I decided, you know what? I want every service to include this, so that's what it includes. I do not like raw bleach. I don't like the look of it. I don't like the feel of it. I want everyone to get a glaze, even if it's clear, even if the color lifts beautifully, everyone's getting a clear glaze. And upon evaluation, if you need a haircut, like, you're getting a trim. I just kind of set the standard that we just don't talk about. Not that we don't talk about it. I listen to my clients, but if they need a trim, they need a trim. Because, we all know, right? Like, if we don't trim off those dead ends, their hair is going to split up the shaft and it's going to break off and it's going to be shitty, and nobody wants shitty hair. So, the first thing I did was I really took an evaluation of, okay, what do I want everything to include and how can I package it? And so, like I just said, I started with the root retouch. I'm like, okay, right now a root retouch is, I don't know what it was at the time. It was like probably 70 something. So then I combined it with the glaze, which I think at the time was like 25, and the bond builder, which at the time was 30. Okay, so now if you're coming to me for a color retouch, let me just add up those prices really quick, what those would have been at the time. So like 74 for the retouch. Oh, sorry, cattail. 25 plus 30. Okay, so now my cheapest service is $129, and if you get a root touch-up, you get all these other things. Same with the highlights, and a lot of my highlight clients already got the glaze because I've had the conversation over and over. But again, that was just something that I switched to. And so I just started having the conversation with every client, and it went so much better than I expected. And I just had I sat down with every client when they came in when I moved to my new space. And I had a script. And that, I believe, was the key. I had a script that I just repeated over and over and over and over until I couldn't get it wrong. Basically explaining to them why I was moving to this model and why their price was going up so much. And so, some people, their prices went up $50 to $70. So I just sat down with them, with every person, and I just said something along the lines of, so I want to tell you about this new treatment that I'm offering, that I'm including with services from now on. It's called B3. Here's what it does for the hair. It's actually repairing your hair while the lightener is on there. So even though we're lightening your hair, it's actually going to feel better by the time we're done. It's going to fill in the potholes of your hair. It's going to add shine. It's going to almost make it sparkle at the end. It's usually $30. And before I could even get to the point where I would tell them that I was going to give it for free today for the first time for them to see it, they, every single person except one was like, okay, great, sounds good. Because I was so excited about it, they were excited about it. And it was completely all about my energy, because I know if I would have been unsure, if I wouldn't have had an idea of what to say, if I would have been not confident in it, that would have come across. And then what does that seem like? That seems scammy and that seems salesy. And that wasn't the point at all. And they were so damn excited about it. I only had to give it away for free to one person because she let me finish my spiel. Everybody else, by the time I got done explaining it and telling them it was $30, like, okay, great, I'm in. So, and that was my plan, to tell them about it, let them explain why I was switching to the model I was switching to, and give it to them for free the first time, just so A, they could experience it, and B, so they could plan and budget for next time. But like I said, the way I presented it, they got so excited about it, I didn't even have to give it away for free. So the biggest thing I learned through that experience, and that was years ago, and at this point, you guys, I'm charging, there isn't a service I do that's less than $300. And my appointments typically range from 5 up to 7 up to, I've had $1,000 appointment before. That's not the norm, but it's also not completely outside. It's happened more than once. So what I've found is it was never about what people were willing or not willing to pay. It was always about what I was willing to settle for, and my confidence in myself and my confidence in what I was charging, and taking control of the appointment, taking control of what needed to be done, and just doing it and letting people know, hey, this is what it looks like, this is what it's going to cost, this is why, and be willing, like having my hands open, being willing to let the people go that we're going to leave because of it. Because at the end of the day, if you are holding on so tight to every little thing, you are not open to receive more. And that is the biggest thing with all of this, is like when you are holding on to everything and operating out of scarcity and willing to sacrifice your mental health, your peace, negotiate on prices, come in early, stay late, not stick to your boundaries, open your message every time someone messages you, like that's what you're going to get. And that's not living. That is not fucking living. I don't care how much money you're making. It's not living. And it was never about what people were willing to do. It was about what I was willing to accept. Because when you are willing to accept less, like you teach people how to treat you, right? When you're not available for it, people either shape up or ship out. And you guys would be shocked at the percentage of clients that I have now that I had at my $70 price point. Not all of them. I've gained a ton of new clients along the way, and I continually raise my prices. I have several $30 price increases a year. I just recently raised one of my services $100. It's something I do intuitively and when feels right to me. And people have continued to stay with me. Again, some people have dropped off, but I was willing to burn all of the fucking ground. I was willing to lose every single thing I had, leave and start all over, versus sacrificing my mental health another day ever again. And then what happened when I got to that point, God, I wish I'd gotten to that point years sooner, because everything I ever wanted was right behind that. Now I have clients that are willing to pay top dollar. When they message me, we have a little consultation before they even book. I have them send me, okay. I have them send me a photo of their hair. We have a little consultation. I let them know what the starting price is going to be. And in that price, I include, again, the base price. If they have a lot of hair and it looks like we're going to need more color, I build extra color into the starting price because I know we're going to use it. Evie, close the door. Evangeline. I'm coming. Thank you. Right? So like if someone is, like my balayage starts at $350. So if someone, and my extra bowls of color are $30, and that includes 2 scoops of bleach and 2 toners, because typically we're, shadowing the root or whatever. But let's say someone sends me a photo and I know they have a ton of hair and I know we're going to use at least 3 scoops of bleach. Well, then my my starting price that I quote them is going to be $380, because why am I going to quote them $350 if I know we're going to use more? You know what I mean? So I'll give them a range. I'll give them $350 up to, or $380 up to, and I'll usually in the price range factor in 2 extra bowls of color. So if I think I'm going to use 3, I'll tell them $380 up to whatever 5 bowls of color would be. So it would be $440, right? So it'll be $380 to $440, and here's what it includes. It's going to include everything. It's going to include the glaze, toners, treatments, a 20-minute conditioning treatment under the dryer. Sorry, I lost connection. Who's going to be mad at me for charging them $350 when I quote up to $440? But then the cool thing is when you give them a bigger range, and it's less, or it's not the top of their budget, they're planning on spending that top range, right? So then they come in and guess what? Now they have extra money built in for retail, right? Like if you haven't used, right? If I think I'm going to use 4 bowls of color, I'm going to quote her for 5. If I don't use the 5th, then guess what? She's 99% of the time going to buy retail, like without me even having to try it, because she's budgeted in that extra $30. And so the whole point of this is not being afraid, not shying away, and being transparent. Because when people, what normally happens, right? Like they have one price in their mind, and they get there, they don't ask, you assume that they're okay with whatever it is, you tell them the price, they're sticker shocked. What do? You 99% of the time are going to charge them less because they weren't expecting to pay that. So now you've taken a pay cut. Now they still have probably paid more than they were expecting. It's just, they might not be back. It's a whole big thing. Versus when you're upfront and very beginning, you're confident, you're willing to say, okay, no problem. If they don't want to book, guess what? They come in knowing exactly what to expect. I tell them how long to expect to be there. I tell them what to expect price-wise. I tell them what it includes. And sometimes, you guys, the answer is, that's out of my budget. And you know what happens 99% of the time when it's out of the budget? They come back a few months later and they've budgeted for it. Because what do? We want what we want. We find a way to make what we want happen. And how many times have you guys bought something that you didn't need? That it was more expensive than you should have spent, right? Like we spend money on things we want all the time, and we find a way to make the things we want happen. So a no is not necessarily a no. A lot of times those people come back later, and if they don't, that's fine too, because when you are charging appropriately, it's not such a big deal to have a space here and there. It's just not, because if you're making 2-3 times the amount per appointment, it's just not a big deal. And I know you guys are thinking like, oh my God, my clients would never pay that. One, you'd be surprised, and two, you don't have to move all of your clients to that right away. What you can do is you can decide, okay, every new person from here on out is getting charged my new prices. Here are my new prices. Here, everything's included from here on out. I'm gonna start this new model with new people. I'm just gonna start offering it to the people that I have in my chair now. They can take it or not, but I'm gonna start offering it to them. I'm gonna start setting the expectation that this is something we do now, we upgrade, and eventually they'll start getting used to it, they'll start budgeting for it, and it won't be a big deal. What I would suggest right here, right now, today, is you decide no more fucking discounts. Every person that gets a free glaze thrown in the house, every person that's getting a friends and family discount, every person that I mix up an extra bowl of color and I don't charge them because it's not really a full ounce, or whatever reason you give yourself that it's okay to not be charging them, you nip that in the bud right now. And you get all of your clients up to your real prices, because guess what? Let's do a little math here. If you give away $15, sorry, lost connection again. That is $3,120 a year. How much more than $15 are you giving away? Probably a lot. Like, I've had clients give themselves a $6,000 a year raise by just charging their real prices and stop throwing things in on the house. And so that's where I would start, and just start having that conversation with your current clients that you're discounting or you're throwing things in, and just let them know like, hey, I just want to let you know, since I value you so much, you're one of my favorite clients in the whole world, I've actually been discounting your services this whole time. I've been throwing in the glaze on the house, or I haven't been charging you for your highlights. And the price for that that I've been throwing in is actually $50 more than what you're paying now. So we're gonna keep it the same today, and I'm not going to, charge you the extra today, but I just wanna let you know that as much as I would love to, I can't afford to discount anymore. So going forward, to continue the services we've been doing, it's gonna be this price. And I also wanted to let you know, to give you enough time to budget or decide if that's not okay, if you want, we can discuss other things we can do to stay within your budget. Who can be mad about that? Who can be mad about getting a discount for 10 years? / if there's no option to stay in the price range they are, right? Like, if they're getting the bare minimum and you're already discounting it, they just don't get the option to pay less, right? Like, you can give them, let them know, hey, I'm gonna keep your price the same today, and next time it's gonna be $30 more, and that's just what it is. They're coming in once every 6, 8, 10, 12, sometimes once every 6 months. This isn't a weekly charge you're adding to their budget, right? Like, think about it this way. If you had someone who did your hair perfectly and you absolutely loved it, and you saw them once every 6 weeks, would you leave them over $30? No, you probably wouldn't. And that's how our clients are too. And if your clients are assholes about it, they need to go, period. Like, there are so many great people in the world that is just asinine to be letting people in your space who are going to give you crap about making a living. And I don't say that with any judgment at all, because I did that for way too long too. I know my tone can sometimes sound, not compassionate, but it's quite the opposite. I am so fucking passionate about this stuff, you guys, because we have just been walked all over and beaten down for so long, and we are worthy of so much more, and it doesn't have to be that way. And it all starts with you holding up your boundaries, you not squeezing people in. If someone messages me that they need an appointment to get in and the wait is 3 months, the wait is 3 months. Making room for what serves you, exactly, Kara. And it's not a big deal. 99% of the time they'll wait those 3 months, and usually I'll have something open up earlier that I can work around and let them in. But it is not your responsibility to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, because people don't plan. Like, my clients, my regulars, they do plan, and they book 3-4 appointments. Some book for the entire year. And my other clients that don't, they know it's gonna be a wait, and they know that sometimes, hey, they get lucky and they message me and I can get them in. But they never expect that because I've set the expectation that that's what it is. If you don't pre-book, that's fine, but plan to be waiting if you want to get in. I don't open messages. I don't open messages until I can respond. I have working hours that I open and respond to messages. And sometimes, like if sometimes I have 2 days off in a row and people don't get responded to for 48 hours. And I never come back to a second text like, hey, hello, did you get my message? Can you answer me? Like never, because again, I've set the expectation. I've rewritten those social contracts that I had with clients that said I'm always available, and just stopped. It can be as simple as just stopping and just deciding, you know what, here's how I'm going to run my business now. Here's what my pricing structure looks like. If you want to come to me, you get all of the things. If you want to, so that's what I would do. As new clients, anyone new, when they come to you, you quote them the new price, and you guys will be shocked at what people are okay with, because at the end of the day, it's way more about communication than it is about the actual price, right? I mean, I'm the same way. I'm someone who's willing, I'll spend whatever amount of money on something I want. I pay $300 for my hair before tip, easy, if not more. $600 last time because I got a Brazilian blowout. I'll pay hundreds of dollars for my facials. I'll pay whatever it costs, but I want to know what it costs. And I'm really annoyed if I get there and the cost is more than I was quoted, or you know what I mean? And I know that people aren't, because I budget, like I don't have just endless amounts of money, but I budget for the things that I want, and our clients are the same way. And so when you avoid the price conversation with them and you make it a thing that's weird and you don't talk to them about it, it's way more annoying that they're not to them, right? It's way more annoying to them just to not know exactly what to expect up front to be able to plan for it, than it is the fact that it costs $50 more or whatever, So at the end of the day, you just got to know that you are worthy of enjoying your life. You are worthy of a business that you love. You are worthy of clients that respect you, and they're out there. And you will be shocked at how clients will shape up when you don't give them the option to walk all over you anymore. And that's a shitty thing to say. It's a shitty thing to have to acknowledge as the truth, because that doesn't feel good, right? That doesn't feel good to know that like our clients less, then you're never going to get what you actually want. So I'm going to open it up for questions now. If anyone has any questions specifically about all-inclusive pricing, because I'm going to be wrapping up here. But it all starts with you. It all starts on the inside. It all starts with knowing that you are worthy of an amazing work experience. And also it starts with creating that experience for the client that you want now. Not treating your clients as an afterthought, not rushing them in, not squeezing people in, but booking the time you need and charging what you need to charge in order to give them that time, and everyone's happier. Clients would rather pay $20, $30, $40, $50 more for exactly what they want than save $20, $30, $40, $50 and have it be close, have it not be enough, right? Like have to come back. Take the time you need and charge what you need to charge, and don't skimp. Don't assume that they don't want to pay for the toner, because they do. They showed you that picture, right? Don't give them the choice. If this is what it takes to get there, this is what it takes. And we're having that conversation. And if you don't want to pay that, that's fine. Here are your options. But there's no middle ground here. There's no, I'm going to negotiate on price, and not charge enough, or I'm not going to leave out an integral part of what it's going to take to get your service, so you can save a few bucks. That's not fair to either of us. Then the client isn't happy, we're not happy, nobody's happy, and it's just not a good situation. So I would love to hear anyone's thoughts. If you have any questions or comments or any takeaways from any of this. Another thing I want to tell you all about too is something I have coming up. I'm very excited about. We start next week, but it's called Price to Thrive. And it's a very inexpensive program. and I'm going to walk you through exactly how to figure out what you should be charging for your services in order to make what you want to make. Because what do I see in the forums all the time? It's, oh, what do you charge for a balayage? I'm in a small town, or what do you charge in this area? And the truth is, it has nothing to do with what anyone anywhere is charging, and even if it's the person next to you, that has nothing to do with it. There are so many factors: your cost of color, what you want and need to make, your level of experience, your cost of running your business, your rent, there are so many factors. What are your expenses, your personal expenses that go into this, that it is completely irrelevant what someone else is charging. You might as well be asking them what their favorite color is. Like, that's just as relevant to what you should charge for your business as what they're charging for their business. So it is just 3 lessons. It's going to be short, sweet, to the point, and it's going to be, I'm going to give you all the factors and formulas so that you can figure out exactly what you need to charge. And the cool thing is, it's like that it's not I'm not going to tell you to raise your prices. I don't care what you do. It's going to give you the information to decide what you want to do, right? So you're going to have all the information to decide, okay, this is how I figured out. If I keep charging what I'm charging, this is what I'm going to make. I need to raise it to this much to make what I want to make. Am I okay with that? If the answer is no, that's fine. You can adjust your expectations and realize, okay, I'm either going to make this and I need to adjust my personal budget, or I need to work more hours to hit that. Whatever it is, it's giving you the information, because we are not taught this anywhere else. And it's a formula. It's math. It's not emotion. It's not feelings. None of that shit. It is just math, and you can figure it out, and the formulas don't change, and you can adjust anytime you need to adjust. So it's going to be $111. You'll have access to it forever. And I'm going to go in depth in 3 videos exactly how to figure out where to set your prices to make the income you want to make. Actually, one of my clients, I'm going to share this story really quick because I'm sure we can all relate. She was charging like $90 for Tara. Yay, Tara! I will. I'll post the link. I would love to have you. There's also 2. You're gonna have a few weeks of a Facebook group like this for support. So if you sign up now, like basically whenever we start next week, but I'm gonna be in there like I always am, talking about whatever I talk about. So you'll just get extra videos, extra bonus time for no extra cost the sooner you sign up. So I'm for sure gonna leave the link for that, but I wanna share this story. So one of my private clients, she had a root retouch, like a blonde retouch client that she was doing. And we all know, like, the bleach retouch on the scalp, that's a whole different animal than a color retouch, right? So, she's doing that with the toner, single process blonde, whatever all that entails. And she was charging $90 for it. And for the amount of time it was taking her, it was crazy. It was literally costing her money. Like, when we broke down the numbers, she was paying to do this client's hair. And so we figured it out. And in order for it to even make sense for her to offer that service, it had to be $180. Like, that was like bare minimum. We can't even talk about it being less, because the amount of money it's costing you for her to take up that spot and what you're paying to be in that salon and product and all that, it was costing her money. And so she had the choice, right? She could have the conversation with the client. She could decide not to offer the service. Or I guess theoretically she could have decided to keep losing money, but she ultimately decided to have the conversation with the client and just be open and honest. That is always the answer, you guys. All these questions like, oh, how do I explain this to the client, blah, blah, blah. Like, honesty is always the best policy. I never lie. I never sugarcoat it. I never pretend like it's something it's not. I never blame it on cost of supplies going up or whatever. Like, I'm just always honest. So I told her, like, just tell her the truth, that you set your prices, not really knowing where they should be at. She was fresh out of school. And you realize, like, when you did the math, that it was actually costing you money to perform this service. And so in order to keep doing it, like, you're really sorry that you didn't realize this sooner, but it's going to have to be this price. And, I don't even think, I told her she could offer to do it for the $90 one more time. I don't even think she did. I think she just told her, like, it's going to be this, and you come in for your appointment. I just want to let you know I'm so sorry that, like, it's I understand, like, if that doesn't work for you. And the girl was fine with it. And she came in and she told me, the stylist told me that was the first time she'd ever gotten her color perfect. Why? Because she cared more. Even though she thought she was showing up as her best before, she wasn't. And when she felt like she was being properly compensated for the work she was doing, she showed up in a way that she never had before, and her client got the perfect color. It was amazing. Her client was over the moon excited. It was never about the money. It was never about the money. And so that's something we create in our own heads. So there is a formula I want to share with you, and it's more than just like, here's the formula. Like, I have to talk about and explain it, which is why it's going to be 3-part videos. But we're going to cover all of that, the ins and outs, exactly what you need. We're going to have the videos. I'm going to give you the homework. You're going to have access to all the information forever. So anytime you want to go through it and revamp your prices, you can. That stuff doesn't change. So video 1 is going to be talking about exactly here, all the information you need together. Like, these are all the factors. Get these hard numbers for me, for you, and before our next call, this, and then we're going to talk about what to do with those numbers. So then the second call is going to be the formulas, what how to implement it, the factors. And then the third call is going to be how to practically implement this into your business, how to have the conversation with clients, what to do. And there's going to be a Facebook group for the duration of the time, so that as you are going through this course, you can, I'll be there to help you specifically with your business, your numbers, whatever's going on, because there's no cookie cutter option. There's no, here's one way to do it. I'm a firm believer in do what's best for you. If anything I say to you doesn't resonate, cool, leave it and take what works for you. But I do not believe that everything I say is God. I don't believe anything anyone teaches is God. I believe you know what's best for you and you have to follow your intuition. And I'm just happy to share what works for me along the way. So all of that, it's going to be $111. You have total access to me the whole time, and access to all of the content forever. Plus, if you want to upgrade to the VIP option, you still get everything I mentioned. You get that no matter what. And so for a total of $222, it's another $111. You get a VIP Zoom call where we can talk face-to-face at the end of it, and I'm going to do a real breakdown of exactly my pricing structure, how I do things, the journey from when I was charging what I was charging before to what I'm charging now, and kind of how I made those incremental steps and all of that. So I'm going to be breaking down my business more for you behind the scenes in the Zoom call. But either way, if you do the VIP option or not, you get all of the information, nothing held back, complete access to me. So, and all the information to completely figure out how to price my services to thrive, how to price my services in a way that makes sense, and I'm making a profit and I'm making what I need to make, and it's not based on feeling or emotion or what the stylist next to me is charging, who also probably based her services off what someone else is charging. So that is Price to Thrive in a nutshell. I'm very excited about it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to drop the link to Price to Thrive in the description of this video so you can sign up. If you have any questions, I'm going to hang out a few more minutes. If you have any questions on the all-inclusive pricing structure we talked about, how you can implement it in your business, like what, anything specifically, ask now. I'm happy to answer it. I don't hold back on, just because it's free, I'm not holding back. Like, this is the exact same me you'll get anywhere. We just have more time, and we're going to go even deeper in Price to Thrive. So if you have any questions on Price to Thrive as well, you can drop that below too. But you're going to, like I said, you're going to have access to all of that forever. Yes, Amanda. So I actually thought of you. The other day when I was writing about this, because I knew you're starting over, and I was just thinking, man, this would be such a great thing for someone starting from scratch. And Kara, I actually thought of you too, because I know you're kind of starting over too. And God, how easy it's going to be just to start from where you need to be versus having to reset client expectations. You just get to start from square one and take off from there. So this would be amazing for anyone who is starting over. It's going to be amazing for anyone, but like, man, talk about path of least resistance. If you're just starting from ground zero and you don't have to rewrite these social contracts with your clients, that is going to be amazing. But also that's what the third lesson is about, is talking specifically about those clients that you need to rewrite those social contracts with. And we can talk specifically about, you know, how to handle Mary, how to handle, you know, I know everyone has clients that you think, oh, it's going to be no big deal. And then you have that handful of clients, right? Like you think of like 5 clients and you're like, oh my gosh, those 5 clients are holding your whole business back because you are dreading having that conversation with them. We're going to talk about those people because I've been studying my students from the beginning. I've learned so much. Yes, I love it, Kara. I'm so glad to hear that. Because that most of the time when I work with clients and we talk about revamping their prices, it's like the fear that's holding them back, it's a handful of people. It's a handful of people that they are dreading having a conversation with, that they think are gonna not be okay with it, they think they're gonna be rude, they're gonna give them shit, whatever, and I get that because, God, I can think of the few clients like that too. They are no longer with me anymore because I'm not available for them, but God, that feeling in the pit of your stomach, like I get it. And those people are holding your entire business back. They're holding your whole life back, right? If someone's in control of your income, they're in control of your life. They're in control of your lifestyle. They're in control of of the life you can provide to your kids. Like, it is crazy if you think about that, how much those people are holding your business back just because they're putting your whole life on hold. So you would be much better to just let those people go. Like, let them make the decision, set your new standards. They can shape up or ship out, but it is high time to stop letting those people hold you back anymore. Because trust me, those people are not making any decisions in their life based on you. They're not making any, you know, they're not changing a damn thing. They're not canceling Christmas with their kids. They're not canceling, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. And so I would love to, anyone who has any questions on Price to Thrive or any of my programs or working with me privately, please shoot me a message. I'm always happy to talk to see if anything would be a fit. And like, I never want to, I'm never going to try to sell you anything that's not a fit for you. If you're not ready and it's not right, cool. I'm always here. I have plenty of free resources. You reach out to me when you're ready. But I am not in the business of charging people money or trying to talk them into things they don't need. I am in the business of helping stylists create the businesses that they love, and that is what I'm fucking good at. So if you have any questions about working together or Price to Thrive, I'm going to drop the link so you guys can check out all of the info, sign up, and the sooner you sign up, just the longer access you will get to more free trainings like this. So hell yeah. I love you all. I hope you have an amazing day, and do not hesitate to shoot me a message if you have any questions. If you have any questions specifically on this video, leave it here and I will get back to it and I'll be answering it. All right, have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.